folks, welcome to Edupedia World 9th grade Computer Applications video lecture series. I'm Upeka Wendibona and this is the third part of Intellectual Property Rights. From this episode we are going to discuss copyrights and World Intellectual Property Organization. Copyright is the last protecting mechanism we are going to discuss. So first, let's see what is copyrights. Copyright law grants authors, artists and other creators protection for their literary and artistic creations, generally referred to as works. So the works covered by copyright includes following things: novels, poems, plays, reference works, newspapers, advertisements, computer programs, databases, films, musical compositions, choreography, paintings, drawings, photographs, sculptures, architecture, maps, and technical drawings. Related rights is a closely associated field, which means rights related to copyright that encompasses rights similar or identical to those of copyright, although sometimes more limited and of shorter duration. We can identify three entities who benefit from these related rights. The first entity, performers, such as actors and musicians in their performances, and then producers of phonograms in their sound recordings. And finally, broadcasting organizations in their radio and television programs. And now let's see what rights do copyright and related rights provide. The creators of works protected by copyright and their heirs and successors, generally referred to as right holders. So these right holders have certain basic rights under copyright law. They hold the exclusive right to use or authorize others to use the work on agreed terms. If we look into more detail how these right holders of a work can authorize or prohibit, we can identify following things. They can authorize or prohibit its reproduction in all forms, including print form and sound recording, its public performance and communication to the public, its broadcasting, its translation into other languages, its adaptation such as from a novel to a screenplay for a film. Many types of works protected under the laws of copyright and related rights require mass distribution, communication, and financial investment for their successful dissemination. For example, publications, sound recordings, and films. Hence, creators often transfer these rights to companies better able to develop and market the works, in return for compensation in the form of payment or royalties based on percentage of revenues generated by the work. In the copyrights, there is another concept called economic rights. The economic rights relating to copyright are of limited duration, beginning with the creation and fixation of the work and lasting for not less than 50 years after the creator's death. National laws may establish longer terms of protection. This term of protection enables both creators and their heirs and successors to benefit financially for a reasonable period of time. Related rights enjoy shorter terms, normally 50 years after the performance, recording, or broadcast has taken place. With the economic rights, there is another concept called moral rights. Copyright and the protection of performers also include moral rights, meaning the right to claim authorship of a work and the right to oppose changes to the work that could harm the creator's reputation. Rights provided under copyright and related rights law can be enforced by right holders through a variety of methods. It includes civil action suits, administrative remedies, and criminal prosecution. Injunctions, orders requiring destruction of infringing items, inspection orders are used to enforce these rights too. If you are a creator who is much care about your creations and your reputation as the creator, you may be wondering with these kinds of questions. The first question, what benefits you will receive? Copyright and related rights protection is an essential component in fostering human creativity and innovation, giving authors, artists, and creators incentives in the form of recognition and fair economic reward, increases their activity and output, and can also enhances the results. By ensuring the existence and enforceability of rights, individuals and companies can more easily invest in the creation, development, and global dissemination of the works. This, in turn, helps to increase access to and enhances the enjoyment of culture, knowledge, and entertainment, and also stimulate economic and social development. The second question. As you know, technology is a great effect for create and disseminate creations. So, how have copyright and related rights kept up with advanced in technology? The field of copyright and related rights has expanded enormously during the last several decades with the spectacular progress of technological development that has in turn yielded new ways of disseminating creations by such forms of communications as satellite, broadcasting, compact disc, and DVDs. Widespread dissemination of works via the Internet raises difficult questions concerning copyrights and related rights in this global medium. World Intellectual Property Organization is fully involved in the ongoing international debate to shape new standards for copyright protection in cyberspace. In that regard, the organization administers the WCT, WIPO Copyright Treaty, and the WPPT, WIPO Performances and Phonograms Treaty, and also known as Internet Treaties. So these treaties clarify international norms aimed at preventing unauthorized access and use of creative works on the Internet. So the third question is, how are copyright and related rights regulated? Copyright and related rights protection is obtained automatically without the need for registration or other formalities. However, many countries provide for a national system of optional registration and deposit of works. These systems facilitate, for example, questions involving disputes over ownership or creation, financial transactions, sales, assignment, and transfer of rights. Many authors and performers do not have the ability or means to pursue the legal and administrative enforcement of their copyright and related rights, especially given the increasingly global use of literary, music, and performance rights. As a result, the establishment and enhancement of collective management organizations, CMOs, or societies is a growing and necessary trend in many countries. These societies can provide their members with efficient administrative support and legal expertise, for example, collecting, managing, and disbursing royalties gained from the national and international use of a work or performance. Certain rights of producers of sound recordings and broadcasting organizations are sometimes managed collectively as well. So that's all about copyrights. So as a whole, we now know 5 protection mechanisms: patent, trademarks, industrial designs, geographical indications, and what we just learned, copyright. So now let's get into know a little bit about World Intellectual Property Organization. Established in 1970, the World Intellectual Property Organization, also called as WIPO, is an international organization dedicated to helping ensure that the rights of creators and owners of intellectual property are protected worldwide, and that inventors and authors are therefore recognized and rewarded for their ingenuity. This international protection acts as a spur to human creativity, pushing back the limits of science and technology and enriching the world of literature and the arts. By providing a stable environment for marketing products protected by intellectual property, it also oils the wheels of international trade. WIPO works closely with its member states and other constituents to ensure the intellectual property system remains a supple and adaptable tool for prosperity and well-being, crafted to help realize the full potential of created works for present and future generations. So, how does WIPO promote the protection of intellectual property? As part of the United Nations system of specialized agencies, WIPO serves as a forum for its member states to establish and harmonize rules and practices for the protection of intellectual property rights. WIPO also services global registration systems for trademarks, industrial designs, and global filing systems for patents. These systems are under regular review by WIPO's member states and other stakeholders to determine how they can be improved to better serve the needs of users and potential users. Many industrialized nations have intellectual property protection systems that are centuries old. Among newer or developing countries, however, many are in the process of building up their patent, trademark, copyright, legal frameworks, and intellectual property systems. With the increasing globalization of trade and rapid changes in technological innovations, WIPO plays a key role in helping these systems to evolve through treaty negotiations, legal and technical assistance, and training in various forms, including in the area of enforcement. WIPO works with its member states to make available information on intellectual property and outreach tools for a range of audiences, from the grassroots level through to the business sector and policymakers, to ensure its benefits are well recognized, properly understood, and accessible to all. So now you may be wonder how WIPO financed, how it find their funds, how they operated. Well, actually, WIPO is a largely self-financed organization, generating more than 90% of its annual budget through its widely used international registration and filing systems, as well as through its publications and arbitration and mediation services. The remaining funds come from contributions by member states. Well, that's all about intellectual property rights. From the next lecture, we are going to look at privacy and data protection. So, thank you for watching, and don't forget to watch the first and second part of intellectual property rights as well as the next lecture. This video brought to you by edupediaworld.com. Watch more from our website.